So if we look at the gay rights movement, we see the same movement from conversion through passing to covering. So in the middle decades of the 20th century, we see people being driven en masse into conversion therapy, whether that took the form of psychoanalysis, electroshock therapy, aversion therapy, even in extreme cases, lobotomies or castration. And this was all done in the attempt to take gay people and to make them straight. Right? And it was only in the post-Stonewall era, post-1969 era, when the gay rights movement began to take off, that we shifted away from the demand to convert, not categorically, but in emphasis, to the demand to pass. So we shifted into a regime in which it was all right to be gay so long as you lived your entire life in the closet. And this is perhaps best exemplified in the United States military's Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, which was promulgated in 1993 and was only recently repealed just this past year. Under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the military moved away from a conversion paradigm to a passing paradigm. So prior to Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the rule in the military was homosexuality is incompatible with military service, period. In other words, you had to be straight in order to serve. Right? After Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the idea was you could be gay and serve in the military, so you no longer had to convert, but you did have to pass. Right? So Don't Ask, Don't Tell said that so long as you agree to remain in the closet, we will not witch hunt you out of that closet. At least that was the ostensible bargain that was struck under this congressional/regulatory regime. And obviously, Don't Ask, Don't Tell didn't just sort of spring from the head of Congress. It grew organically out of an underlying culture. So for many LGBT people, it's most familiar history that one's identity is an open secret, that everybody knows that you are gay, but nobody is permitted to talk about it. So as D.A. Miller says, what seems to be so threatening in this context is not knowledge, but rather acknowledgement of knowledge, acknowledgement of the fact that people know and that you know that you're gay. Finally, at the turn of the millennium, what we see in the gay rights movement is the final shift towards the covering demand. So if we look at the gay rights issue of the day, it is, of course, same-sex marriage, and to a lesser extent, employment non-discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation. Right? So currently, only a very small minority of states permit same-sex marriage, and we have no federal statute that bans discrimination in employment on the basis of sexual orientation. If you listen to what the opponents of marriage equality for gay people say, or if you listen to what opponents of the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, which would protect individuals from discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, say, what you often hear is something along the lines of, it's okay for you to be gay, it's okay for you to say that you're gay, but why do you have to flaunt? Right? So recently, Congressman King said, I don't understand why I should vote for employment protections for gay people because only flamboyantly gay people are going to get fired anyway. So long as you don't flaunt your identity, right, you're going to be safe in the workplace. Because you can engage in that form of self-help, the law does not need to step in and protect you. Right? Similarly, in the marriage context, what we see is it's fine for people to be gay, it's fine for people to say that they're gay, but why do gay couples need to assert their unions in public as being equal to the unions of cross-sex couples? Okay? So I want to suggest, in the same way that I personally needed to overcome this demand to cover or to downplay my identity in order to achieve full equality in my community, so too the gay rights movement as a whole has to overcome this covering demand, this demand that we duck our heads and accept that we are second-class citizens currently in this society before we achieve full equality.